In recent days, discreet yet unmistakable signs have begun to emerge, indicating that something significant was unfolding within Newcastle United. There were no official statements or grand announcements. Instead, there were small clues, quiet movements, and cautiously leaked information that made many supporters realize that a key development was about to change the club's landscape. The tension in the air was no coincidence. Those who closely follow the club know that this kind of backstage behavior almost always precedes a major update, and this time was no different. Meanwhile, every new detail that surfaced seemed to heighten the suspense. Journalists close to the club also noticed that something was not following its usual course, which led supporters to track every new hint with double the attention. At this moment, it is also important to reinforce that subscribing to the channel helps us continue bringing exclusive Newcastle United coverage. If you are not yet subscribed, consider joining us to receive daily and reliable updates about your club. Some reports indicated that the movement was directly linked to the first team, involving strategic and necessary decisions for the remainder of the season. The cautious way in which staff dealt with any questions only increased the perception that there was sensitive information behind the situation. This gradual build-up of expectation made many believe that something relevant was being prepared, perhaps an update related to an important player in the squad. This mysterious narrative began to take shape when reliable sources, especially professionals who follow Newcastle's day-to-day, started to publish subtle signs about the situation. Each new detail suggested that an announcement would soon be made, though without fully clarifying what it would be about. Before we continue, let me remind you that if you enjoy in-depth news and exclusive analysis, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. It strengthens our work and keeps you well informed. All of this movement was directly related to Yon Wissa. According to verified information from Craig Hope of Newcastle Confidential, a concrete update had finally emerged regarding the expected date for the return of the forward signed for £55 million. This revelation, awaited for weeks, brought clarity to a situation that had been causing huge concern among supporters. Wissa, who was injured shortly after signing for Newcastle, has still not made his debut for the club. The forward's recent trajectory has been marked by frustration and false starts. After his big-money transfer, he went through an intense period, joining the DR Congo national team quickly despite being short of full fitness. Even so, he managed to score 2 goals and provide 1 assist in just 1.5 matches for his country before being substituted in the second half of the following game. Since then, his absence has drawn attention and sparked countless speculations about his recovery. Several dates were suggested for his Newcastle debut. At first, it was believed he would be ready to return at the start of November. Later, expectations shifted towards a return after the international break. However, none of these forecasts came true. This sequence of delays created an atmosphere of uncertainty, with supporters and analysts questioning when they would finally see the 29-year-old forward in the club's shirt. Many were waiting for an official word to end the doubts. The club's cautious approach has always been notable. The coaching staff and medical department adopted an extremely careful stance, avoiding any risk of putting the player on the pitch before the ideal time. The intention was always to prevent a setback that could worsen his physical condition. Before we move on, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel to follow firsthand every new development involving Wissa and other key squad members. According to Craig Hope, who received direct information from the club, the updated forecast indicates that Yon Wissa is not expected to return before the start of December. This means the forward will miss at least the next 3 Newcastle fixtures. Although this may disappoint some supporters eager for his debut, it also shows the responsibility with which the club is handling the situation, prioritizing the player's health and long-term performance. His playing style, mobility, explosiveness, and goal-scoring instinct were decisive factors behind his arrival at the club. However, his unexpected absence forced Eddie Howe to rely on Nick Woltemade, who is still in the early stages of adaptation and has very different characteristics from the Congolese forward. This enforced change demanded adjustments in Newcastle's attacking system. Despite the challenge, Woltemade has proven to be a positive surprise, offering more than many expected from a player newly integrated into English football. His development has been closely monitored and, although he is still far from reaching his full potential, he has shown qualities appreciated by the coaching staff. The Congolese forward's return promises to bring greater balance to the squad. Newcastle's patient approach reinforces the club's long-term vision. Wissa was not a small investment, and putting him on the pitch before he had fully recovered would be an unnecessary risk. Ensuring he is at 100% physically also maximizes his potential across the season. Before we continue, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss updates on this story and many other essential Newcastle United developments. The expectation now is that, with the correct recovery time, Wissa can return with confidence, intensity, and without limitations. Manager Eddie Howe has emphasized the importance of building a balanced squad capable of handling a season filled with challenges, especially considering the congested fixture calendar. The forward's presence will allow the team to execute more daring tactical variations, something Howe has been planning since pre-season. With a player of his versatility, the club gains depth and creativity, which will undoubtedly impact the team's performance in domestic and international competitions. For supporters, the focus now is to wait for the next chapters of this story, with the certainty that patience will be rewarded. The official update from Craig Hope sheds light on a situation that previously felt unclear. Yon Wissa remains in the recovery process, and his debut is closer than ever. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and continue following every detail about the forward and all the behind-the-scenes developments at Newcastle United. Here, you will always find reliable information based on trustworthy sources such as Newcastle Confidential.